expected him to be, as the war created new problems for you in your marriage.
Ya estamos esperando esta inmediata en posición de cambio.
Okay.
How are you, Beth?
Thank you. Very well. Very well. I read about your son. He seemed absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
I hope we can understand each other, you know.
Yeah.
But I read about him and I'm so impressed with his accomplishments. And of course, I completely understand what you and your family have endured with this type of a loss. And it's extremely difficult even many years later, you know. For me, it's 10 years. And how many years? Since 2004?
Yeah, 13.
13 years, yeah.
אביב נולד ביום הראשון של האביב. הוא היה מאוד אביבי בתכונות אופי שלו. מה שאומר שכל יום בחיים שלו לא היה דומה ליום אחר. הוא כל הזמן היה פורח, היה מעשיר את הסביבה שלו. הוא היה ילד שמאוד מאוד אכפת לו מהסביבה, הוא לא היה יכול להתעלם. הוא היה ילד שתמיד הגן, הוא נתן מעצמו המון, הוא היה טיפוס שהסתפק במינימום שבמינימום. אני חושבת שבגלל זה הוא גם כל כך אהב את העניין של המנהרות והחולות, והוא יכול היה לשרוד, כי זה באמת היה במינימום של המינימום. הוא היה טיפוס מאוד מאוד אחראי, הוא היה טיפוס מאוד מאוד מחושב. זאת אומרת, הוא תמיד הסתכל כמה וכמה צעדים קדימה, גם בתור ילד. תמיד הסתכל כמה וכמה צעדים קדימה, ותמיד לקח אחריות על הדברים שלו.
You know, it seems like yesterday. It's unbelievable. It's every day, you know, it's, my husband says, Itsik, my husband, he always says, you know, every day from the day Daniel was killed, it's like a handicap. And it's so true, because we have to live every day, even though we don't revolve our lives every minute of every day around it. You wake up with thinking about it and you go to sleep thinking about it, and it's always in your heart. It just, and which is good, you know, I mean, you don't want to forget.
It's the same, it's the same. You speak like me. You speak like what I think about this.
My name is Beth Agami. I'm the proud Gold Star mother of Specialist Daniel J. Agami. Daniel was born on January 2nd, 1982. He was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio for the first 5 years of his life, and then our family moved down to South Florida. I'm sitting here in the National Museum of American Jewish Military History in Washington, D.C., and behind me is Daniel's uniform that he wore.
שבכרית שלו הכל כפול, כי הוא בעצם היה שייך לאוגדת עזה, אבל בגלל שהוא בן מקימי סמור ביעלום, אז גם ביעלום מנציחים אותו. זה הצלש, קיבל 7 חודשים אחרי נפילתו, קיבל צלש אלוף.
Always you can't forget it.
Right, right.
Think what he will do in this situation, what he will say in
Right.
these things.
Exactly. I always say, what would Daniel do? You know, because like I'm in a situation or I feel down one day, like I'm like sad and like it's just like a Memorial Day or some holiday comes around, his birthday, you know, and it's like all day you just feel like whatever. But I hear my son Daniel saying to me, stop it already, you know, move on, it's okay. I'm in a good place, you know, I'm okay.
זהו, זה היה יום רביעי, 12 למאי. יום לפני כן הייתי עם אמא שלי בבית חולים כי היא לא הרגישה טוב. כל היום זה היה לי יום מאוד מאוד קשה. אני לא מצאתי את עצמי. אני הרגשתי תחושות מאוד לא נחמדות, מאוד לא טובות. הייתי מאוד עצבנית. והחלטתי שאני אלך לכיוון הים קצת להירגע, לקחתי את הדבר ונסענו לכיוון הים. אבל יום רביעי באשדוד יש יום שוק, ומצאתי את עצמי בתור של המכוניות שנכנסים לשוק, ואז אמרתי, אוקיי, אז כבר אני פה, אז אני אכנס ואני אקנה משהו לאדווה. והייתה לי תחושה מאוד 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 קשה, מאוד קשה. באיזשהו קטע הייתה לי תחושה של שאביב בצרה. והתקשרתי אליו, הוא לא ענה לי. התקשרתי לחברה שלו שהייתה קצינת חמ"ל באותה תקופה, והיא ככה ענתה לי בקול כזה, הלו, אני אומרת לה, אלינור, מה זה ההלו הזה? אז היא אומרת לי, לא, את לא מבינה, עכשיו היה פיצוץ נוראי, ואנחנו עוד לא יודעים מה קורה, מי, מו. אני אומרת לה, ומה עם אביב? אז היא אומרת, אביב עם הכלים שלו בפנים, אבל אל תדאגי. אני אומרת לה, מה זה אל תדאגי? היא אומרת לי, לא. כאילו, הייתה תחושה שהוא מעל הכל, ששום דבר לא יפגע בו. וביקשתי ממנה שלא תנתק. היינו בקשר רציף. אני הבנתי שכבר משהו קורה, משהו לא טוב קורה.
So Daniel went back to Iraq, and before he left, he made it clear, telling us where he wanted to be buried. He said, I don't want to be buried in Arlington. I need to be buried in a Jewish cemetery. And we were like, well, of course, you know, whatever your wishes are, but why are you telling us this? Because we don't want to hear this, you know. Everything will be fine. You're going to be okay. Not to worry. I mean, obviously, it's some type of an instinct about this, and these were his wishes, and thank God he told us. I don't think we would have done otherwise. I think we still would have had him buried nearby us, and that's exactly what we did. So he went back to Iraq, and then my son was married, and while he was on his honeymoon was when we all got the news. So the two officers came to the front door, knocked on the door, and I already knew with them standing at the front door that was the situation. They didn't have to say a word, I already knew. So Daniel's funeral were probably 2,000 people showed up to this funeral. It was massive from people all around the world of every background, race, religion, it didn't matter. Everybody knew Daniel, knew of Daniel. Growing up in South Florida, he was an extremely popular DJ for a couple of years there, and he was just very well known, and not even because of that, but mostly because of his sacrifice, and that people just wanted to honor him, whether we knew them or not. They just flew in from everywhere and came to his funeral, and it was just absolutely astounding to us. And we were extremely honored to have that type of result from this whole thing, and we're extremely proud, extremely proud. You know, it's also like, you know, in the beginning, it's your heart is ripped out, but as the years go by, I keep saying to myself, there's nothing you can do to change it. Being depressed, sitting around moping all day long, bringing everybody around you to be sad and like whatever. I just know that Daniel would be angry with me if I behaved that way. And that's why I feel it's so important for things like this, like that Liat is putting together, for people to remember him and, you know, and bring awareness to the sacrifice that they've made. You for Israel and Daniel for the United States.
I think that they want to see us happy.
Right.
And they want to see us with our children.
He decided to join the infantry in 2005 because he was deeply affected by the 9/11 events. And he felt that this was his patriotic duty to his country. He was a very, very bright kid, and he wanted to give back to his country. No regrets. I mean, he re-enlisted for another 4 years. He loved his job, and he had a very, very, very tough job. He could have done anything he wanted when he joined. He could have been anywhere, do anything, and he chose to be on the front lines. That was what he wanted to do. On June 21st, 2007, they went out on a nightly mission, and unfortunately, he and 4 other soldiers that he served with didn't make it due to a roadside bomb, and that was his demise, unfortunately. So it's so different here compared to Israel, because there everybody serves, you know, in Israel generally, and here it's voluntary.
Yeah.
So when a 23-year-old kid, Daniel was 23 at the time, says, I want to join the army, it's like, it was a calling. It's like something I just have to do this, you know.
התמונה הזו קיבלתי אותה מבחורה שהגיעה אליי במהלך השבעה, ונתנה לי כמה תמונות קטנות, וזה גם בעצם התמונה שעשתה לי את המפנה. אני ככה הסתכלתי על התמונה, ראיתי את אביב עם מבט של תקווה בעיניים, ראיתי את הדמות הצברי, בחור ובחורה צעירים, השמיים באותו יום כחול ולבן כמו דגל ישראל, ואמרתי, זה מה שאני רוצה להיות. תסתכלי קדימה, את התקווה. נורא הזכיר לי את המבט של החיילים בכותל.
They told me, you have a family from USA that her child died in Iraq. I think the difference is like you say, Aviv, he must to do it. Is his country,
right?
He must to go to army, and Daniel, he didn't must do it.
הזעקתי קרובי משפחה שהייתי צריכה אותם לידי. קראתי לבת שלי, הייתה בתל אביב, באותה תקופה. ביקשתי ממנה שתגיע. לא אמרתי לה מי ומה ומה, לא רציתי שהיא תשמע. וב-10:20 קצין העיר דפק על דלת, ובא עם הידיעה שהיה פיגוע בנגמש, שאביו היה אמור להיות על הנגמש הזה. וכרגע הם לא יכולים להגיד לי מה קורה. אין להם שום הוכחה. לצורך העניין, אביו לא נמצא, הגופה לא נמצאה, ולכן הוא בגדר נהדר. זה נמשך 4 ימים. יום שישי אחרי חצות שוב דפקו על הדלת. ושוב הגיע קצין העיר, ואני עוד זוכרת שאני אומרת, אוי, אני כל כך שמחה לראות אתכם. אז הוא ככה הסתכל עליי, אומר לי, את האמא הראשונה שאנחנו שומעים כזה דבר. אז אוקיי, לפני 4 ימים באתם ואמרתם לי את הדבר הנורא מכל, מה כבר אתם יכולים להגיד לי שנמצאו?
The time I mostly miss being with Daniel is when I hear music on the radio that is completely relevant to Daniel. It's the music. I could be in the car driving, and if he were sitting next to me, it's like this song is just all about him and his type of music, and Daniel would just love this music. I could be at the mall going past a store that I know he absolutely loved, and I feel like this was Daniel's store. This is where he buys his clothes, you know. It's just everywhere you go. You know, there's signs of him everywhere. There's just signs everywhere. In fact, an amazing story, when one year I wasn't able to go to Israel this particular time, but Itsik, his father, and Shayna went to Israel, and they were in the Carmel market, and they were walking. It was the Erev Pesach. It was on a Friday also, and it was busy, crowded. You couldn't move to the right, you couldn't move to the left, millions of people. And they were standing in front of a little market, like a little toy shop, whatever, that had a hanging from the ceiling there, a rubber, like a plastic mallet type thing that had a Star of David on it. And Itsik and Shayna were standing right there at that moment when they overheard a father speaking in English to his son, maybe 8, 9, 10 years old, not sure exactly, and saying to him, the little boy said, "Oh, Dad, I want to get that. Can I get that with the Jewish star on it?" He said, "Well, I'm going to get it for you, but first I'm going to tell you why I'm going to get it for you." And he said, "This hammer represents a fallen Jewish soldier from the United States. His name was Daniel Agami." Now, Itsik and Shayna are standing right there next to this man telling his son this story. So Itsik turns to him and he goes, "Excuse me, can you tell me again, like, what did you just tell your son about?" And he says, "Oh, well, I read a story in the New York Times about this soldier. His name was Daniel Agami. He's a fallen Jewish soldier. His father's Israeli. He lived a very, very Jewish life while serving in the military." And Itsik said to him, "Well, I'm his father." And they looked at each other in complete disbelief.
ירדנו למקלט כדי להכשיר את המקלט שנוכל להכניס לשם כל מיני דברים. העיתון של ידיעות אחרונות היה זרוק על הרצפה, וכמובן משם אנחנו ראינו את התמונות של 6 הלוחמים של יום לפני כן. ואז הרמתי ושאלתי את החבר'ה שהיו מסביבי, יש מישהו שמוכן או יכול להגיד לי שם אחד של חייל אחד שנהרג לפני יום? וככה הסתכלו אחד על השני, ואז אני אמרתי, אנחנו לא ניתן לזה שזה יקרה. את אביב אף אחד לא ישכח.
When people ask me to talk or to speak, to explain to people, of course
Don't stop to speak about him. Don't stop. When you speak about him, you get him alive. Because I think when I speak about Aviv, I give him another life.
Right. Thank you. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
אביב מראה להם את כל הדברים שהוא מצא במנהרות, ואני זוכרת שאני פשוט נורא התלהבתי. כי אמרתי, פה אנחנו רואים את שר הביטחון עם הידיים כזה קרבי ופה ושם, ואביב פשוט עם יד למושטת לשלום. שהוא כל כך אופייני לו, זה לא משנה שהוא מסביר להם, אבל זה מה שאני ראיתי. כאילו, הוא תמיד אמר, צריך לפתור את הבעיות, כי הם לא סתם פוגעים בנו, הם לא סתם בונים את המנהרות, אנחנו צריכים לפתור להם את הבעיות הכלכליות, ואז הם לא יפגעו בנו.
Daniel had his own quote, and that is, "This war that America fights for is about freedom and survival for the souls of the entire world. These terrorists that we fight now, I feel, do not understand life only war. I feel that if we were not fighting in Iraq now, the world will be terrorized by terrorists for many years to come. And I really truly believe that to be the absolute truth. He said that in 2007, and it's still happening today. I don't know if you can see it. This picture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wear that. And then on the back, it says, "My son, my hero, forever in my heart." That's it. That's what it is. That's what it all boils down to.
If I can to hug you now.
I know. Let's virtual hug. Virtual hug.
Yeah, like this.
Virtual hug.
A big kiss.
Same here. Same here. I had a wonderful opportunity to meet a beautiful mother from Ashdod. Her name is Edna, and she too lost her son in Israel while serving in the IDF.
So when you come to Israel, I invite you to call me.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And I hope one day you'll make it over here and stay with us.
I hope one day. I don't think that they will be now, but maybe
one day. One day.
One day.
Hello, Iris.
Hi. Well, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Now, are you a native Israeli?
Yes,
Okay.
very much. We came here 12 years ago, and I had 2 kids in Israel, and we both were born in Israel, and we got married, and then I had 2 kids there, and then 2 here, and so we've been, 40 there and 12 here. So
Okay, all right.
All right. So for you, it has been how many years now since you lost your brother?
Well, it was 73, so 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does it feel 45 years later?
It's worse. I don't know.
Yes, I would think.
Yeah.
And why is it worse?
Because I was 5, and my parents didn't even. I'm not blaming or judging. They just didn't tell me. So,
they were trying to protect you.
I think they didn't know how to. It's not. Well, I actually don't know how it is today, but there's a lot of there's a lot more of psychology coverage, and so there was nothing, right? They just came, they brought the things, and then all of a sudden a lot of people came to the house. This is what I guess it was, the shiva, right? And the recognition, and the acknowledgement and the depth of it is just getting bigger.
Yeah. Well, I've had, obviously, with media has changed, and with Colin's death, in social media, and I will interact with other Gold Star parents, and they will always ask, when does it get better? And no, it never does, never will. It is what it is, and I can imagine exactly where you're at. The same thing. I mean, we will be at some point 30 or 40 years from now, and it will still be as painful as it is today, or was 11 years ago.
Yeah.
loved to play with his trucks and his trains and do all those little boy things. But also, he was trained in ballet from the time he was 2.5 years old, because being a dancer and a dance teacher, I mean, he would do it on his own anyway, just mimicking me, so I threw him into the room.
He didn't want to pursue ballet career?
No. And the major moment when he knew he wanted to be a Marine was September 11th, 2001, when the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and all that happened.
And there wasn't anything we could say or do. You know, don't you want to go to college first and then you can become an officer? All of that. No, I want to be a Marine right now. I don't want to tell others to be in the front line while I'm in the back. I want to be in the front line. And I have been rereading all the sympathy cards and the letters and the notes. And time and again, what is written in those words, your son was so brave. Your son knew this is what he wanted to do. Just how special he was. And that everyone could see it and feel it immediately.
But another huge element of Colin was his Judaism. And he very strongly identified with being Jewish, with Israel, with the generations that had come before, with World War II, and how the Americans helped to liberate the concentration camps.
It was interesting. When Colin was in Iraq, was the same time Israel was fighting in Lebanon, and we would have a phone call or something, and he would ask about how things were going with the Israelis and sort of the analogous situations.
This dance, so this is in progress. So we'll just get through as much as we have done. And if you hit a point where I haven't choreographed the rest for you, you know it's okay. Just go to the side.
Yeah, they had the Knesset member that made the comment, something to the effect about Americans, I think she was referring specifically to American Jews, don't understand, I can't remember, loss or suffering, and that they don't contribute to, or haven't contributed the way they should to the fight against terror. We fight wars a different way than Europeans or other countries do, and it's very purposeful, and it works for us and our people in our total psychology, national psychology. Well, first off, I would say the Marine Corps community, and I'm sure it's this way for the other services, they do a tremendous job of being there and helping. They can't take away the pain, but they dedicate people to you, and they explain and they offer their services.
So it was 2013. Mark and I were on a road trip, and I called the composer, Mark Menza, because we had been wanting to do a ballet together for years and years. He had composed my master's thesis, the music. I called him up, I said, So Mark, I actually have a slot in the March show that we could put in a little 20-minute ballet. What do you think? Can we make it work now? And he came back with, yes, actually, I have the time. I can devote to it. So that was the one act. There was so much written about it, so many people reaching out to me from all over the world and wanting us to tour it, that I went back to Mark Menz, the composer, and I said, you know, we need to make this into a full-length ballet so that we can take it on tour, etc. So we went back to work harder than ever.
We are very conscious of, you know, Colin is one of several thousand. And I mean, your brother was one of what, 2,000 Israelis that were killed in the October War.
Right.
You know, it's not about the one. It's the shared suffering and the shared experience.
And when I told her that, you know, that Liat called me and that there's this project and I don't know, and so she said, well, maybe it's time that I face it, you know, because I'm too busy oppressing. Mm-hmm. You know, it surfaces all the time, so.
But I wouldn't actually call it therapeutic. Okay. It's very difficult. Okay. Because when I work on this ballet, for me, Colin is alive again. Absolutely. Which means every single time we do it, he dies again. And I have to go through that each time, you know? But the reason why I am doing this ballet is for all our service people in any country who come back and they have survived and their friends have not. Anyone who has lost a loved one, for whatever reason, no, you don't give up. You go on and you honor them. You hold your dear one in your heart, and they really do continue to live